Yep, yeah. Here we go. Oh, yeah. Yo,
Good
mom, play
morning,
it
good
for me
morning,
one
good
time.
morning. You are listening and you are watching Church Without Walls. We come to you every Monday morning, 11 to 12 Central Standard Time. We come, Church Without Walls, want to knock down all the walls that's standing people's way, in our way. We're in the beautiful studios of the New Orleans Talk Network every Monday morning. Tell your friends. Let them know that Church Without Walls is on the air. Let them know that we are here fighting for the community. And we, Dr. William and myself, we always say it's time for us to make a change. Nobody gonna do it for us. That is something that we have to do. My name is Charles Stewart, and the co-host is Dr. Anthony Williams, and we come to y'all every Monday morning to share with y'all what we learn in the church house on Sunday and share with you what the wisdom and knowledge that God gives us. We like to share it with you, and we always say we provide a topic, and y'all supply all the information that we need. We need a dialogue with one another, and that's our reason for being on the air every Monday morning. So we ask that you will call in 504-341-8255. We want to say before we start the show is that a lot of people are sick and shedding. We want to make a special notice to God on behalf of one of our panelists last night, former president of the NAACP, Miss Gail Scott, whose father is ill at Ashland Hospital. We praying for him. So before we start the show, I want to ask Dr. William, would he pray for all those that are sick and shedding everywhere?
Father God, we come at this hour of the morning, petitioning thee before thee and thy holy throne of angels. O God, my Father, we ask that you would be merciful unto those that are on their beds of affliction. And, O God, my Father, we ask that you would also be merciful unto those who have lost loved ones during the past week. O God, my Father, we ask that you look upon them and strengthen them, encourage them, and give them the confidence to know that God does sit high and he does look low. And he knows and sees all things that are happening. And the only thing that I can tell you is that God is too wise to make a mistake. Whatever he sees fit to do is already done. But he asks that you would submit your prayers before he and his holy throne of angels, asking them, oh God, in the name of Jesus Christ. For his word says, whatsoever you ask of my Father, in my name I will grant it unto you. So Lord, we ask you today for all of those who are on their bed of affliction and all of those who've lost loved ones, we ask that you would look upon them with an eye of pity and a heart full of mercy. We thank you this morning, our Father, in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen. Thank God, Dr. William, for that prayer, and I'm more than sure that many of us know that we need prayer, and as he said, Jesus simply said, anything that you ask in my name, that his Father would do. So he asked in the name of Jesus that those that calling on him, that God would answer their prayer. We are so happy again to come on your cell phone. We download us on the app, www. New Orleans Talk Network. We also on YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. So this morning, Dr. William, we going to, our topic today going to be about the debate that they had last night. Last night we had a fantastic time, a wonderful time, and I was able to sit and look at the audience as they question was asked to the two candidates, and I want to say to the before I say anything else, I want to thank the panelists for all the great questions that they asked. We just want to thank them. Let me see. We had 8 people on the panel. Yeah, we had Dr. Glenell Williams was the moderator, and we had on the panel. We had former president of the NAACP, Gail Scott, was one of the panelists. Gail Love, president of Good Morning Foundation in Railroad, Louisiana. Bishop Carol Dufresne, Living Witness Ministry. We had Derica Griffin, Kingdom Girl Foundation. Reverend D. Dunn, represented Kenner and Lincoln Mountain area. You had Vivian Gibson. Valerie Gibson, Black Women Minister Association. And then you had Kenyon Callaway, Project Detour. We had a great panel of people. They asked great questions. They had a good question from the audience. And it just was a glorious time that we had last night. And that's what Churches Without Walls is all about. It's trying to knock down walls. And the Church Without Walls, Dr. Williams and myself, we just have going out telling people you should vote for this candidate, this is the best candidate. We want the people to look at the candidate and ask them questions and listen to them. And that way you have a better insight on who the candidate are and what they're about. And I hope last night that the people that was able to view by Facebook, Dr. Williams, and those that were watching, and those that was here, that they some people came here with mixed opinion about what candidate they liked it, but some of them called this morning and said, I came there with one candidate in mind. When I left there, I like the other candidates. So this is what it's all about, Dr. Williams.
Well, what I depicted from the panel last night is that a lot of questions were asked, but a lot of questions were not answered directly by the candidate. And I realized that there's some things that some candidates can't say. But what I picked up from a lot of the questions was that a lot of answers were being given based upon what the candidates thought the people wanted to hear, and that's some of the things that we've got to be mindful of. There's going to probably be a few more panel discussions, and I want to invite people to go and listen very attentively and carefully to how the candidates are answering those questions, because that's how you're going to base your decision on what you hear from them. And if they're not answering the questions specifically, and you letting them get away with that, then when you're going to get what you vote for, put it like that to you. You're going to get just what you vote for. So you're having an opportunity now where you have panels and the candidates are debating one another. They're saying what they would do and what they won't do. And those are some of the questions that we need to be asking them. Look at all of the things that you think that they're not going to do, and put those questions to them. Put those questions to them so that you can get an answer, and be mindful of how they answer the question that you're asking them, because if they're not answering them to your satisfaction, you're not going to be able to do a valuable response. So that's going to have an effect upon your choosing your candidate that you want to vote for.
We ask that you would like to call in 504-341-8255. Want to say also, Dr. Williams, I'll be remiss if I didn't mention the beautiful job that two of our real young citizens last night, young Skylar Tipito and and young Dion Curtis. They did a tremendous job. Skylar, she did the Pledge of Allegiance. And Miss Curtis, she introduced the two candidates. Both of those, I think one of them may be 11 or 12 years old. But they was able, I think, their mother and father for letting them participate. And I told them that one day you might be, one of y'all young ladies might be the first female sheriff. I don't think in Jefferson Parish in modern time they ever had a female that was sheriff of Jefferson Parish. I said, one of y'all may be a councilman, but y'all made y'all first step tonight. And they were so happy. They did a beautiful job. And I just want to commend those two young ladies for, most kids would be too shy to get up there. I mean, that both of them got up there with confidence. And I want you to know that on the behalf of Church Without Walls, we, Dr. William and myself, we so proud of y'all, and we gonna. The Bible said, bring them up the way you would have them to go, and so.
Train up a child in the way to go, and when they're old, they will not depart.
So we want to train them to be leaders for the future. I also want to thank T.C. Hawkins for those here. He sung American Beautiful by Ray Charles. Lord, I know he had to touch a few minds. The way he sung that song is almost, I told him, man, Ray Charles ain't gonna never die long in your life. I mean, he sung America the Beautiful. He sung that. And
T.C. Hawkins has been over a lot of places singing.
Right.
And he's one of my classmates from the Lincoln High Trojans. We had teachers that looked at us and saw something in us.
Okay.
And so those, he came up and he learned to sing, and I think he even plays the piano or the organ.
Okay.
I'm not sure.
But he did a tremendous job. I had asked him to come, and it's always good. People love music, don't care what it is. The music sometimes set the tone and relax people. It get them focusing. So I thought that would be a good time to invite him over. And I want to let you know he is a recording artist. And he traveled all over the world. I think he goes overseas twice a year. They love him over there. It's a shame that Jefferson Parish don't know all about him. The one in churches know T.C. Hawkins. But international and overseas, they love him over there. They crazy about him. And maybe one day God will bless him to write that one song, to sing that one song that the people in the community would give him respect and that he deserves. So I want to thank him again for his participation. Now, Dr. William, back at hand, like last night. Okay, my opinion, some of the questions that was asked the candidate, some question the candidate, they answer. Some of them, I think, one answer, ain't okay, up to what I expected for the question to be answered. And I guess in any election, the candidate, they ask questions in a way that I guess some of them have they do pre-rehearsal before they go into a debate, and they have certain questions when they ask. They focus. They are.
We need to remember that those candidates have aides, promotional speakers and whatnot that will sit down and talk with them, and they may ask them a question and see how they're going to answer it. And what those aides are going to do is make sure that they answer that question in a positive way,
right?
Not answer it negatively, where it
right.
would have an effect upon them.
Mm.
So more than likely, I want to say, and I think I would be remiss in not saying that they did have interview with others to ask them questions that they thought and told them how they would answer those questions to see whether that would harm them as far as that campaign is concerned.
Right.
But I would say to those that were here who were listening that you need to be mindful of how a person, because sometimes a person will answer a question based upon what they think you want to hear.
Right.
And they're gonna speak what you're expecting them to speak and
Okay.
not answer the question right.
You're so right, Dr. Williams. To take our first break, but you want to get in on the call, 504-341-8255. You are listening to Church Without Walls.
Kick it for me one time.
What is the world coming to? Seems like everyone is running from the truth.
Here at Jones Insurance, your full-service agency, let us take care of all your insurance needs. We provide homeowners insurance, flood, rental, commercial, auto, and life insurance. Don't let the unexpected tragedy destroy your family's future. Here at Jones Insurance, 7603 West Bank Expressway, Monroe, Louisiana, 772. Contact Lois at 504-348-1492.
Hi, I'm Prophetess Charlene Duforce.
And I'm Bishop Carol Duforce.
We're Living Witnesses Ministries, and we come to you live every Wednesday morning
On the New Orleans Talk Network from 11 a.m. to 12 noon Central Time. And it's called Living by the Word Daily.
So we ask you to tune in and listen to us as we begin to teach the Word of God according to today's events. Thank you, and God bless you.
Thank you.
Listen up. Your customers, our listeners, could be hearing about your business right now. Yeah, right now. Don't miss out on the opportunity to advertise with NewOrleansTalkNetwork.com. Call our business department today at 504-475-4793 to hear about our great rates. NewOrleansTalkNetwork.com. We provide the people, you provide the business.
What's up, readers and shakers? It's your girl, Rhonda M. Lawson, sending you a personal invite to the Literary Lounge. Tune in to Horizons with Meet the World Image Solutions each Wednesday at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time for the best in literary conversation. Each week, a different author will join us to talk to their most important readers, you. You can also call in to ask your own questions. So don't forget, each Wednesday at 7 p.m., join us in the lounge for Horizons with Meet the World Image Solutions. See you there.
We are back. You are listening to Church Without Walls. Charles Stewart and Dr. Reverend Anthony Williams. We come to your way every Monday morning, 11 to 12. So we ask that you would call in 504-341-8255. We have a call on line one. Go ahead,
how
caller.
you doing, Mr. Charles and Reverend Williams? How y'all doing today?
Pretty good in itself.
Good, man. I was at the forum last night. I heard both candidates talk about, the issues, addressing the issues. The panelists did a great job, and we want to thank the candidates for coming out and explaining to the community what their views are as far as police in our community and governing our parish. The sheriff has a lot of work to do in the parish of Jefferson. He has probably the most duties out of all other parishes all the parish sheriffs, including New Orleans. Jefferson Parish Police Department, as the sheriff said, is the largest police department in the parish, on even more police officers than Orleans Parish, and also the tax collector of the parish. So there's a lot of power that goes into being a sheriff of Jefferson Parish, and they're in the top 20 in the country in a lot of statistics throughout the country. So Mr. Lopinto is our sheriff, and Mr. Fortunato is running against Mr. Lopinto to become the sheriff. Both candidates are strong in their points, in my opinions. I think some of the questions that were asked weren't answered, and I think dealing with the liaisons of the sheriff's office is a real important issue. It's a hot-button topic, dealing with the liaisons of the parish. And these are the people that are appointed to, go out and find out what the issues are, report back to the sheriff. And the sheriff has over 20 people he appoints to do this job. I think that's one of the most important jobs in the parish as far as dealing with the sheriff's office, because the people who report back to the sheriff will be the ones who control the narrative of whatever issue that the community is dealing with. And I do believe that we need to have diversity there. And both candidates explained, if you go back and watch the stream that we put up last night, you'll find that you can form your own opinions of the people the sheriffs are going to appoint to deal with the issues in our community. That's the only point I really wanted to make. I would like to encourage everybody out there listening. If you haven't watched the forum, go back to the New Orleans Talk Network page and watch it in its entirety. It's a great forum. We had entertainment, we had singing, we had some of the girls from the church come out, some of our teenage girls come out and do the Pledge of Allegiance and introduce the candidates. So it's a great watch, but I really want people to pay attention to the conversation they had dealing with the people they're going to appoint, the liaisons to speak for the community. In so many words, the ambassador of the community report directly to the sheriff. And I just hope people can form their opinions. This may help you decide who our next sheriff will be. So please take out the time to go back and watch.
How do you feel about the question that was put to the floor regarding the liaison?
I believe both candidates were solid in their answers. I think Lopinto explained that there are people in place now that handle that, and he doesn't plan on changing them unless they do something that they don't do their job. They're not doing their job quite well. I think the sheriff candidate Fortunato was sound in his opinion on what he would do, and he explained that he will review the
resume
applications of people applying. So in other words, I think Fortunato is going to do a complete overhaul of the liaisons, and Lopinto is going to allow the people who are there to remain there until he sees a reason to remove them. So it's all in what an individual sees it as. You can take that both ways. You can take it as a good thing or a bad thing coming from both candidates. The people who are liaisons right now may be good liaisons. They may do a great job at speaking for the community. So I don't know those individuals personally, and I never met any of them. But it's totally upon the person who's voting for the candidate what they want to see happen. And what I want to see happen personally as an individual is everyone be evaluated for that position. If you're in that position, I think there ought to be a system put into place that everyone is evaluated at their performance, and if their performance is good, then they keep that position. If not, then we replace them.
Another thing that I got, one thing particular that I paid attention to, and it caught my view of somebody, I don't know who asked, somebody asked a question, I think for an incident that happened some time ago, I think since the Rodney King incident, the tension they had, and also the officer that pulling their gun on mainly minority. And what amazing that I heard Mr. Lopinto said that he had over, I could be wrong, I didn't write it down. I think he said
400,000
out of
calls.
400 and something arrests, caught, I mean not arrests, but 400 something people that were stopped. His deputy only pulled their gun on the person that they stopped only 46 times. Now I thought that was amazing because most times the way trigger happens is policemen is the day they pull their gun. Now that's was the answer that kind of caught my eyes a little bit when he said they only pull their gun 46 times. I said, wow. You know, to me, now I got, you know, I don't know if, like say, you say you reviewed it, I don't know. I would get an opportunity to review that again, but that one thing that kind of stuck out to me. Because normally cops, they nervous, they afraid, they trigger happy. But he said that they didn't use their gun or their stun gun, whatever they call that gun, only 46 times that they actually pull it out.
I just want to make this point, and then I'll hang up and listen to the rest of the show. I just want to say this about the Jefferson Parish Police Department. I do believe that this is a well-trained police department. I've had encounters with Jefferson Parish Police Department, and some of them were pleasant, and some of them weren't pleasant. But as a citizen of the United States, I know my duties, and I know I need to control myself when I'm in a situation dealing with authority. So in other words, I have to respect authority and respect their position as authority. I think the citizens of Jefferson Parish understand that. We have knuckleheads out there, of course we do, but I think as the general population, I think the general population respects the authority of Jefferson Parish Police Department, and I think that directly contributes to not only the safety of the citizens, but the safety of the officers. When they're in that situation and have to pull out a gun on a citizen for whatever reason. But generally speaking, for the population, we are a good population to police.
Okay.
There's a man. The main word there is submission. If somebody in authority has stopped you and they're talking to you, they're in authority at that time. Submit yourself. Listen at what they're saying. You know, that way you got something to go on. But if you're gonna go off and start cussing and saying all kind of other stuff to that person, you're gonna make that person afraid, and they'll be subject to doing whatever they think is necessary to protect their life. So when a person of authority, if a police stop you, he's in authority at that time when he stops you. All you have to do is be submissive to whatever he asks you.
Well, I've been fortunate, I've been lucky, and that every time they said, some people say no such thing as luck. Well, I just said it was fortunate that cop, whether it was a state trooper, JP, whoever stopped me, when they pulled me aside and when I stopped, I always say, yes, sir, officer. I remember one day Dr. Williams, the officer, looked like he was young enough to be my grandson, but when he stopped me, I said, how you doing, officer? And he said that. But anyway, we have a call on, I'll get back to that story later, but we have a call on line 2. Call on line 2.
Yes, Mr. Stewart, this is Gail Love, one of the panelists from yesterday evening's debate. Good morning. How you doing?
Good morning. How you doing?
I'm doing just fine.
Hey, good to hear from you. What you thought about last night's debate?
Well, I thought it was a wonderful opportunity for the public to have access to both candidates who are running for the sheriff in Jefferson Parish. That's a powerful position. And the sheriff runs the police department, and he also works with the parish council, the judges, and the school system and other community agencies. So that is a hub position. And I think it's important that African Americans know that they have access to the sheriff and they have his understanding and his ear toward the issues that relate to the communities in Jefferson Parish and all communities, not high priority communities, but every community.
Well, When we talk about the community, one of the things that we have to realize is that you don't just have African American in the community. You have Hispanics in the community. You have Italians in the community. We are a multicolored, if you want to put it that way, multi-race society. And if we're talking about protecting the community, our question should be geared upon protecting the community, realizing that as African American, we have sometimes been stigmatized for our behavior. But our question should be focused upon the entire community, not just the African American, because we are a country that's trying to come together as one.
Right. Well, another thing, Carl, I think what Dr. Williams saying is exactly right about you protect our police department protect all citizens. But I think in interest, I think that what you're saying in love is that, say your area, Morel Road, it's certain things that may go on in your community that you want to have the police put attention to it. So sometimes people think that we are saying that the cop just should yield to the black community, but every community, don't care what community you live in. If you live in the white community, they have a separate organization. What's going on in the community, they get with the sheriff's department, they get with somebody in authority to whatever the problem in their neighborhood. If people are going in their neighborhood driving too fast, they deal with that. And as Dr. Williams said, that he got Hispanic, so it's all around. But I think what's important is when every community leader, whoever should have an opportunity, should express themselves. And last night, and that's what Church.Wall is about, we, along with the New Orleans Talk Network, we provided that service for people that they hear the people. And we didn't just, we could have said, hey, this is Mr. Fortunato, Mr. Lopinto, this who y'all should vote for. We did not do that. We saying this is two candidates, you hear them for yourself. So then if you get opinion, was at least I had an opportunity. And like I said, some people came last night, they changed their mind about different candidates. We have a call on line 1. Go ahead on, caller.
This is Reverend G. Dunn.
Good morning.
Listening in. Good morning. One of the panelists last night. Again, I want to commend Church Without New Orleans Talk Network, Church Without Walls, for hosting the forum last night, because I think that's very, very important to the black community. And the reason I'm saying that, because of the fact that the black culture is different. And let me say this. You all really did an excellent job. I recommend those that was not there to really watch the live streaming of it. It is still up on Facebook. Because I think it's very important to form your own opinion as to the way they answered the question. But let me say this, as listening to to you all talk, a white person that lives a very rich, lavish lifestyle and live in a different community than I do, don't know my plight. And so as a result of that, I understand the black community just like you do understand the black community. And things that affect us really do not affect them. Now, I will agree that the police department, the sheriff's department, is to patrol everybody. I agree with that. But every community is different. And every community has to have what really affects them.
Right.
And I think that that's very important. And that question of liaison, I hear it because it is important. And the reason why it is so important is because, again, the sheriff can't be everywhere.
Okay.
And I can't have a white liaison telling the police department what's going on in my black neighborhood because they don't live here.
Well, Dr. D, that's the purpose of forming community organizations, so that you would have a voice and you would have somebody in that community organization who can go and represent you with the sheriff, and that way you would be able to give your concern on what's happening if people are driving down the street excessively, or on motorbikes or four wheels or whatever's going on in the community. You would have someone that would go and represent those concerns, and then the sheriff can work with you to get those problems solved.
Right, I agree, because again, in the white communities where I live in Kenner, you know, the higher neighborhoods, they're gated. Ain't nobody going in there on a four-wheeler. You know, be honest about it. Those communities are gated. Nobody's standing on a corner pushing drugs. They're gated. Nobody's shooting on the street. They're gated. But
because
in my community,
most of the communities, as far as whites organization, there are certain things that they will not allow to go on in those subdivision, and they will put a tag on your door letting you know that there's such and such a thing that can become a violation or whatnot. That's why your civic organization works. But if you have a constructive civic organization that monitor what's going on in that subdivision, then you would be able to register those concerns with the sheriff's department, and they would be able to take care of that for you. But most of our black communities do not have civic organizations in those neighborhoods, and we don't, problems that are happening in our neighborhood, we don't register them with the sheriff's department.
Exactly, and that's why the question of the liaison keeps coming up, because again, you know, you need somebody that will represent the black community. Keep in mind, all over the country, we are having problems between the police and the black community. That's the reason why the question came up about the Rodney King issue and this, and you know, and all of that kind of stuff. I just think it's an important issue in Jefferson Parish because of what's going on all over the country, not just here, but we are the ones that's suffering these problems and things of that nature, you know.
Well, what are we doing about it?
And I think it's very important.
What are we doing about it as a community? What are we doing about it as a
Well,
community?
last night was a great start. Last night was a excellent start. And having people like that on the panel with all of those different questions, all of those different concerns, that's a great start. I mean, that was just awesome. That was a great start. See, Church Without Walls have always been there to help tear down the walls that's standing in your way. And I think that was a way to answer the questions here. I mean, ask the questions and then hear the way they were answered. And then that way, you know for yourself. And, I mean, that's a great way of doing it. What was done last night, have your liaison there to understand what's going on and hear the community as to what's going on. I think it was awesome. And I pray that this dialogue will continue, whoever is sheriff, that this dialogue will continue. Because I do agree, the sheriff department is a great big department. They can't be everywhere all the time, I know. That department has so many different divisions until it's unreal. So somebody
you're so right. That's
Huh?
why it's so important to have, you know, like I said, we start, and I think that if it's anything that we need to learn is that as a unit together, we can together we can stand, we unite together. But what I think our problem is called is that we, like you said earlier, number one, Dr. Williams was touching on about the CIFID organization. Now, here's what other group have. Other community, and if you want to say Caucasian, you want to label community, could be Hispanic. Those people come together as one. They sit down, they have community meetings. You can go by Hispanic church on any Saturday. They have it packed full of young people and old people. They sit down, they not whining, crying about discrimination. You'll never hear them say that. They sit down and they put together a concrete plan to represent the community. Like you said, Reverend Dunn, like say, You can have a black cop that represent your community. Every black cop ain't. So I done been in situations. I ready for a white cop to stop me, and a black cop in certain situation. I mean, what we got to face is that as the people, we must come together, and whoever in like I said, church without wall. I said earlier, it was in my prayer that we bring all people together, not pin them against each other. So if we as a community come together, it don't matter who is sheriff, we'll be able, Dr. William, we can say on the behalf of this community, they got a problem. Sheriff, we need to talk about it. I mean, you can sit down and dialogue with the sheriff, but can't this one just like say, if Dr. William and we set out today, Dr. Don, and say, look, we going to, we want y'all to support us. Y'all don't know nothing no more than what me and Dr. William tell y'all. So so the community ain't blind, but last night the two candidates, they had to answer questions from 8 really qualified people, and other people were able to view their decision, and they understand, and they were able to see it on Facebook, on the courtesy of New Orleans Talking, and they were able to voice their concern, and they were able to listen to the candidate, and that's how you get people involved. But you can't, 2 or 3 people can't make decisions like Dr. William and we can't make decisions for everybody. We can make recommendations, but the point of it is we come together. And that's the only way it's going to happen. You get respect. I'm sorry, we got to take a break at this time. We got to pay some bills. Dr. Don, I don't know if you want to hold on, but we appreciate you calling. And with time, we got to take a quick break here. We'll be back 341-8255. Keep on.
Kick it for me one time.
Hi, I'm Evangelist Melanie Pichon. Listen, I'd like to invite you to view our Forgiven Talk Show every Thursday from 11 a.m. Central Standard Time until 12 noon. We talk about issues, we talk about challenges, we talk about those things really that other folks don't want to talk about. Listen, if you want to talk about something, if you want to give us some suggested ideas, comment below and we'll do our best to get at you. Remember, every Thursday from 11 a.m. Central Standard Time until 12 noon, the Forgiven Talk Show.
Listen up. Your customers, our listeners, could be hearing about your business right now. Yeah, right now. Don't miss out on the opportunity to advertise with NewOrleansTalkNetwork.com. Call our business department today at 504-475-4793 to hear about our great rates. NewOrleansTalkNetwork.com. We provide the people, you provide the business.
Are you looking for a home to live stream your next event? Give us a call here at Bethesda Community Event Center, the only place on the Gulf Coast that can host and broadcast live your wedding reception, your baby shower, business seminar, and any other special event. Give us a call at 504-708-9454 for more details.
Y'all know me, this is people person here. Big homie head. It's your boy Fred. This man, big fan. Right. Listen, we're your host of the New Orleans Talk Network's Fan View. Real fans talk, real sports. Check us out every Thursday night, 6 p.m.
Happy Happy Merry Mondays. It's your girl, Mary J. I want you to tune in with me to Real Talk with Mary J on New Orleans Talk Network every Monday morning at 10 a.m. Then follow me to blogtalkradio.com/Real Talk with Mary J at 10 p.m. It's going to be a Merry Monday every Monday at 10 a.m. and 10 p.m. You've just tuned into New Orleans Talk Network.
We are back. You are listening to Church Without Walls with Reverend Dr. Anthony Williams and Charles Stewart. We have on the line caller, Miss Love again. Hello, caller.
Yes, this is Miss Love, Mr. Stewart.
Yes, ma'am. Sorry about the bad connection, but anyway, happy to have you back. Hello?
Yeah, I'm still here.
You on the line?
Yes, well, I wanted to say that I think it's important that the candidates realize that they need to be accountable to all of their constituencies in the Jefferson Parish community on the East Bank as well as the West Bank, right. And also that all constituencies have access to the sheriff. Whoever is elected sheriff is going to be in that position for at least the first term, and in most cases for 10 or 20 years.
Or more
and
if they live that long.
Needs to be available to the community. One of the questions that came up was, will there be a liaison? One candidate said, yes, he would have a liaison from every ethnicity that's represented in this area. We know we have whites in Jefferson Parish, blacks in Jefferson Parish, Hispanics in Jefferson Parish, Arabs in Jefferson Parish. We have individuals from the Caribbean. So one candidate is going to have liaisons from all of those ethnicities. The other candidate said that he wanted to have an open door policy where people came directly to him. Now, in reality, that's not going to work really well because the sheriff has multiple responsibilities. People are not just going to be able to walk to his office over there in Gretna and have immediate access all the time. So, it might be beneficial to have a task force or community leaders to represent every ethnicity in the community. Right. But once again, we need vocal representation. If people are going to be civic leaders, if they are going to be spokespersons for the community, they need to be willing to advocate for individuals in the community and tell their stories and translate their concerns to the sheriff. Right. And the sheriff, in turn, needs to act on the concerns of the individuals in the neighborhood, and whatever his findings are, whatever his solutions are, whatever his strategies are, that needs to be communicated from the spokesperson or the civic leaders down to the individuals who reside in the individual neighborhood.
The civic organization within the community should be focused on trying to get someone who's not a handout person that's going to be acting as a liaison. And what I mean by handout is to see what they can do for themselves, but rather working toward the community. You have to have someone that you can trust, someone that's going to work with the organization, bring them back information to it. The organization ought to be working on getting information where they can disseminate that through different areas of the church. And that's working with your churches and working with your organizations. Because the church is an organization just like anything else.
But, Ms. Love, when you said that the sheriff, a liaison person to the sheriff, here, Ms. Love, the way I see it is that the sheriff is a big job. I mean, in Jefferson Parish, it's different from most parishes. Like Jefferson Parish Sheriff is almost like the mayor in New Orleans, so it's a big department. They got hundreds of people work there. So, if you have no one to represent you in your community, in this parish, that have a voice that can get, like the sheriff dealing with many problems. So if the community have a voice, someone that represents you, they call the sheriff. The sheriff gonna find a way how to meet with you. But if you don't have a voice, you have to make appointment with some of his people. Is very happy. We got to look at, be honest about it. When someone represents you, it's all depend on who represents you. From I don't know if it was you, the other caller said that we don't seem to have the voices of our elected officials, and I hear that from people all the time. And I always advocate, and I know people don't, some people may not like me for saying that, but it's time for a change. We've been doing the same thing over and over again, and we getting the same results. And I hear somebody say, my daughter tell me, Daddy say, you ain't sing if you do the same thing over and over again, get the same results. We constantly are crying and whining about problem, and I can tell everybody right now, I believe in my heart, we can solve our problem right now if we would come together and sit down and let's be frank and be honest about, like I say, Ms. Dunn was saying earlier about the black community. The black community is simple. We need to come together. We divided. We don't seem. I guess we don't understand, or we not willing to come together as a group and be proud. Number one, we first of all, we need to be proud to be a black America.
Well, Dr. Jones, if we as a black community would come together instead of splitting ourselves up and dividing ourselves up, even the Bible tells us that a house divided against itself cannot stand. Well, we have to learn how to come together as one and communicate our differences one with another and one to another so that we can work to get things done within our community. You got community like, say just use Lincolnshire for instance. There's a shell table back there that's been decaying. Because I used to work back in that area. You've got so much stuff that's been happening back in the Lincolnshire area, but you don't have, to me, I don't see it, and I didn't see it when I was there, that you had a community organization, because the community organization that they had back there at that time was not working with each other. So we have to learn how to come together as one and work and share all our differences within that community so that we can get things done in the community. And as far as the liaison is concerned, yes, we need liaison for different, as you said, different ethnicity group. But we need a liaison that's going to go to the sheriff, and if when they go to the sheriff to talk to them, even if the sheriff deferred them to someone else, they have to find out how they can set an appointment with the sheriff to voice that opinion to the one that's in power who can take care of that for us. But we don't have that going on in our community.
And what Dr. Williams saying is that when the sheriff said, bring your problem direct to me, he's not talking about everybody in the neighborhood. The person who in authority that represent the community, he expecting that whatever the concern they would get with this particular person, that person would come to his office and sit down and meet with him. As we know that sometimes we have to understand what a person say. You can't meet with it's impossible that he could even think of meeting with everybody in that problem. What he mean is whoever the person that in authority in that neighborhood, for instance, Hispanic neighborhood, I know a few of them. When they have a problem, they come together, whatever it may be. And they sit down, they talk about it. Then once they talk about it, they get input from everybody. Then they make a decision. And then the two people, one or two people, go meet with whoever they need to meet with, whether it's a councilman, or the past president, or the sheriff department. And they'll sit down and talk to them in an intelligent way. But I don't think that Mr. Lopinto meant that every citizen come to him
Mhm.
But I just think that simply he mean that. I think he think that we would sit down and say if Dr. William is ahead of this organization, ahead of the Pacific group, we would tell him Pacific, we would voice our concern, everything. Then he would go come sit down and talk with the sheriff and say, Sheriff, this is what's going on in our community. We need to stop. So let's come up with an alternative. How can we get it did? I think once we learn to do that there, I believe in my heart, if we learn to invest in one another ourselves, we spend more money than any group, white or black, when it comes to material stuff, but we don't spend money with one another. And if we just could learn to do that there, I promise you that we'll be all right. All the walls will come down. But if we got to start, and I was so proud of them two young ladies last night that who stepped forward, maybe we can encourage them, Ms. Love, to make that step up and make that change. But anyway, the time for Fent, we got to end the show. The producer saying get off the air. So we love everybody. Thank for all the calling. Thank for all the one that listening, audience. We hope to see you next Monday. We might finish this conversation next week, Dr. William. But we love everybody, and again, we always say it's no such thing as being half dead. If you're dead, you're dead. Love y'all. See you next week.
Yo, Mob, kick it for me one time.